What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Better Biomed. Today is going to be a day about measuring things, and I'm just using these as an example because I have something even better than all of these. So let's go ahead and let's talk about some measurements because I am in a constant process improvement over here so that I can do things better and demonstrate things better for you guys. And existingly, I have a Klein Tools MM700. I love this meter. It does so much stuff for me. Fantastic. It's here in the shop. I can throw it around. It has had a rough life, but it's always worked, and it's worked so well. And that rubberized boot and stuff on it, it's just done a phenomenal job. In my bag that I take with me everywhere, my tool bag, I have this Fluke 289 True RMS multimeter. This guy right here is an absolute champ. It even has like some of the wireless capabilities so that I can monitor from a distance. So while I'm activating something, I can be keeping track of MA or, voltage spikes or whatnot. I can actually do that remotely with this meter. It's so phenomenal. It was a very expensive meter, but guys, there's always the need to do signal analysis and signal viewing, and in doing so, that's why I started moving into scope meters. And this one right here actually lives in my Jeep, in my tool bag, in my Jeep. And it's a phenomenal little scope. It's only got one channel, so it is limited, but it does have a calibration and test port. It's phenomenal. It's XE702S. And this guy here has got scratches on it stuff because, you're out in the field or something, you need to grab a multimeter / scope. This guy, look how small it is. It's so cool. And then here in my shop, I had this guy, the OWON HDS2202S. This is a 200 megahertz handheld oscilloscope / multimeter. This guy here does a phenomenal job. I love this guy. However, there's some other things that you just can't do as easily, including like switch between each of the channels. It's only a 2-channel for one, and I would like to have at least 3 channels or 4 channels, but switching between horizontal and then switching between your channels, it's kind of a pain in the butt with this guy. But it also has an integrated signal generator, so there's a wide variety of reasons why you'd want one of those, especially in a portable format. How cool is that? But guys, this guy is extremely limited, and it's frustrating to use on my bench. So that is why I have been working on replacing it. If I'm doing a video and I'm showing you guys measurements and whatnot, the bad thing is I have to make sure that the subject matter and my multimeter are in frame at the same time, and that is not easy to do. It's an absolute bear. So folks, that is why I have this guy right here, and we are going to do an unboxing. I have not opened it yet. I just cracked this guy so that I can see in there to make sure it's the item that I thought it was going to be. And folks, today we are going to open up and take a look at my brand new Rigol oscilloscope. Now this guy is going to be everything that I need to take this channel and my shop here forward. It's everything that I need. Let's see right here. Let's go ahead and open it. Amazon. Sorry guys, I was making sure that it's not my contact info that was on the top of this guy. I get enough hate mail and stuff as it is. I don't need people showing up at my house. Oh, look at that. It's a box inside a box inside a box. Oh my gosh. And this is not a big box, folks. For what this guy is, this is not a big box. Gosh darn it. All right, we'll just do it that way. Look at this. Yes. And folks, what I have here is my DHO 924S. It's fantastic. This is a 12-bit oscilloscope, and it's got a touchscreen interface. It's a 4-channel, has an integrated signal generator, and this guy is not very large at all. It's exactly what I've been looking for my workbench for here. It's going to change the game, guys. I'm so excited. So let's see. We have the oscilloscope. I have a external DC power supply. We've got a USB-A cable. That's going to be very interesting. One of the reasons I really wanted this is because Rigol's software that allows you to remotely control and monitor this thing is top notch. Rigol's been doing a phenomenal job with their user interface. I have 4 probes, and if I remember correctly, somebody said that these are 300 megahertz probes. If they are, that's going to be crazy and awesome. And we also have probably, what, a warranty card? Yeah. So there's a warranty card up there in the top of the box. I'm going to preserve this box because we don't even know if it works yet, right? All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take these over here. Whip out my DC power supply. Oh, I'm so excited, folks. Now you're probably wondering why do I have a ground cable here? Well, I have a ground cable here because that is how you can earth reference your meter. This meter runs off of USB-C. And take a look at this. I didn't know this, and nobody's reported on it that I've seen thus far. This is a locking USB-C. I was thinking that, oh great, you know, I move it around or something, now the power cable is going to pop out. Nope, they thought of that. It's a locking cable. How cool is that? That's probably an expensive power supply because it's proprietary. However, because this guy is powered off of USB-C, that means that you can take a battery bank and you can power it remotely in the field indefinitely. Because if you're like me, you have multiple power banks floating around. I have them for recharging my cameras and my phones and all sorts of stuff. Let's go ahead and plug this guy in back over here. All right, guys, and now it's time for the big reveal. Let's go ahead and let's do it. I got my power supply all set up. I have no idea what the level of charge is on this. If you can't tell, this is not a big scope, but it does have a big screen. Take a look at this beauty. Now, you can tell I don't have the smallest hands in the world. It is, what, a 7-inch touchscreen, kind of like a tablet. Oh, this guy is going to change the game, folks. Now, there's several particular reasons why I got this. Not only because it's form factor. Look how small it is. Guys, look how tiny that is. That is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Because normally your scope takes up a lot of real estate on your workbench. This guy, look how far I can have it sitting on the back of my bench. Look how the space I have. That is so rare in the scope world. Oscilloscopes, especially ones with this type of capabilities, are usually kind of cumbersome. Let's see, we'll plug in my USB-C. It latches in nice and firm. Now, folks, one of the main reasons that I chose this guy, not only because it's USB-C, which also means that it's a floating scope, it's not earth referenced. That means it's technically safer for me. You know, some of these medical devices I'm checking and whatnot, they get a little bit crazy. I don't want to blow up in, you know, $700-800 scope. But also, it has HDMI out. That is huge, guys. HDMI out means that I can sit there and I can show you guys a live video feed of exactly what I'm doing. But then I seen and I experienced Rigol software with the USB, and that just changed my opinions on how I'm going to use it. I'm not going to use the HDMI, maybe for an auxiliary monitor, like a bigger monitor. That'd be kind of cool. But I'm going to use the camera feed, the USB, and that way there I can manipulate the scope remotely over from my terminal as I'm recording these videos. Very cool stuff. There is one other thing about this scope that made this the scope that I have to get. Right here, we have a VESA mount, 100 by 100 VESA mount, and I'm going to have this guy mounted on an arm. And I've already got the arm mounted on my wall over here. I'm going to mount this guy on the arm. That way there, I can push it up and out of the way, or I can orient it around the project so I can see what I'm doing while I'm doing my test is not always on the workbench to get beat up or to be in the way of my soldering microscope, maybe splatter from solder. I can put it on an arm that's mounted to my wall, and I can push it out of the way, or I can position it. That's so cool, guys. So this is the DHO 924S. This is a 250 megahertz oscilloscope, and this has 1.25 gigasamples per second. This is a 12-bit oscilloscope. Now, that means that I can zoom in and I can get much more refined waveform. A lot of the other oscilloscopes out there, especially if it's, last year, the year before, they're going to be like 8-bit scopes. I don't even know if they're 10-bit scopes, but I think a lot of the cheaper ones, sub $1,000, are going to be 8-bit scopes. And I guess the perfect analogy is, you remember when we had graphics like JPEGs that were 320 by 240 resolution, and all of a sudden it was like, we have 640 by 480 resolution. It was like, yeah, that's fantastic. And then comes, 1980 or 1920 by 1080. Like, oh my God, that's so cool. And now we have like 4K. The 12-bit is basically that. It's allowing you to zoom in further and get more detail on your waveform. So this is a 12-bit scope. God dang, look how small this is. 4 channels, they're all color-coded. And right here's where we can select. This is our vertical, and this is our horizontal positioning. And these rotary encoders, they're nice and buttery smooth, and they have a lot of texture on there, nice and easy to touch. Our user interface up here, all the buttons are up here in the corner, so when you grab onto it, it's right there for your thumb. I love that. All our triggering is right here on the edge, nice and linear, and scope test points are here. And if you're looking at this large port right here, that is a logic analyzer. That's right, this guy has a logic analyzer built into it, and that means that if you buy the specific probe or you make one, believe it or not, I think I might actually do a video where I make one of those probes, you can hook it up to a logic circuit and you can do math and you can figure out what's going on in your circuit. Very cool stuff. I really kind of want to do that. The ports on the back, we already went over these ones over here, the HDMI and the USB, and the LXI port, which is basically Ethernet. Over here is the business. We got an auxiliary output, and we have a function generator built into this bad boy. Holy cow, guys, a function generator built in. So if you were thinking that, oh, it's skinny, it's not going to be very stable, notice the pop-out feet right there. Nice. They pop out, they latch firmly, and this guy isn't going anywhere. Of course, I'm not going to have it sitting on a bench, I already said. I'm going to have this guy mounted on a wall mount. Hey, it's a pretty good option as a portable oscilloscope. And it is definitely a portable oscilloscope, folks. This power supply here, I don't even technically need it. I can go ahead and hook up a battery right here to the USB-C port, and I can power it remotely just like that. Let's go ahead and power this guy on, and let's see what the business is. I have never powered this guy on before. Let's see what it looks like. Now this is the first boot. I imagine it's going to take a while to boot up. Also, I don't know if there's going to be any licensing or anything that's going to ask me to confirm. Sometimes there's trial periods that maybe for 1 year they'll allow like the logic analyzer or something. And some of the math functions and whatnot might be on a license basis. I'm not really sure with Rigol. I know it was that way with some of the older Rigols, and definitely with like Tektronix. Every little thing is on a license feature for Tektronix, but we'll see about this one. It says Android starting, so it is Android based. Very interesting. Of course it is. The most flexible operating system in the world. I like that we got little status indicators here. Now this is a more detailed screen than what I was thinking it was going to be. We have a quick little menu over here, which kind of goes through some of these. I have my parameters up here at the top, and I've got my channels down here at the bottom. And let's see, we got a lot of other stuff in here. I'm going to have to go through this in some detail, folks. One of the cool things about this scope, is that we have a quick button over here, right where your thumb's going to go, and we can assign that to a variety of different things. One of the things I'm excited about is that you can attach that to, let's say, capturing a recording, or more so capturing a still image of what's going on with the frame. Cool stuff, guys. So let's see, we got measure, histogram, cursors, windows, math, X and Y mode. We've got reference, counter, DVM, decode, pass, fail. That's kind of cool. A whole bunch of stuff built in, guys. Oh my gosh. So anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do probably other videos with this guy once it's mounted up on my wall. I'm very excited. We're going to do some test waveforms. And one of the reasons I got this is because I'm doing a lot more stuff with Arduino. And when you're signal chasing with some serial protocols, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Sometimes you have to have a nice oscilloscope to figure out what your baud rate is. And sometimes you got to make sure that each and every component's got like a clock signal or something. So this guy right here is going to help me trace out all that out. Nice thin form factor. I'm loving it, guys. Just wait. I'm going to mount this guy up tonight, and then probably tomorrow I'll do another video with some test signals and whatnot. Get some of these probes hooked up. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, that's the Rigol DHO 924S 250 megahertz digital oscilloscope. Wow, this guy is a lot of tech packed into a tiny, tiny little form factor. Stay tuned. We're going to cover it in some detail probably in the near future. Thanks for watching, guys.